بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيبنا وحبيب رب العالمين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. The question I ask every week, what chapter are we on?
اليقين والتوكل.
Yaqeen wa tawakkul. So thus far in the book, we've been going through everything in order. Over last week what I did was I jumped one hadith. Because there are two similar hadiths, in between there was one. This week as well, there's a longer hadith, inshallah we'll read it. We'll give a little bit of background, we'll explain it. Then there's a 10 or 11 hadiths in this chapter. And there's many du'as. I'm going to skip around and we're just going to go over the du'as today. What the du'as mean, what the benefits of these du'as are, inshallah. The reason being, so that next week I could quiz you guys on the du'as, because I know that everybody's going to memorize them. So there's 4 du'as in this chapter, 4 if I'm not mistaken. So you'll hear them this week, you'll have recording if you want. I'll text you the text of it as well, or before we get to those du'as you can record on your phone, etc. So you have the whole week to practice them. So next week we'll still be on Babul Yaqeen wa Tawakkul, but we'll be finishing it up inshallah, so we can review the du'as inshallah. Okay? So, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Okay, so last week we went over, yes. Okay, Al-Khamis, the 5th hadith in the Bab. So last week we read number 6, because number 6 was about the people whose, if you believed in if you had tawakkul on Allah the way that birds, or Allah would provide for you the way that birds are provided for. Remember? Okay, so now we come to Al-Khamis, the 5th hadith in the Bab. An Jabir radiyallahu anhu. Remember this Jabir bin Abdullah radiyallahu anhu, and he's one of the narrators who narrated the most hadith, like the top 5. Okay, and he's somebody who Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he loved a lot, because his father was orphaned. His father was not orphaned, he was orphaned, meaning his father passed away, was killed in the battle of Uhud, and Jabir radiallahu anhu had to take on all of his father's debts, and he had several sisters, 7 or 8 sisters that he had to support. So time after time Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would give Jabir radiallahu anhu special attention. So عن جابر رضي الله عنه أنه غزا مع النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قبل نجد. So he went on a battle with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam towards Najd. You know that Najd is the eastern part of Arabia where Riyadh and all are. However, in this context, what it's referring to is any area outside of the Hijaz, right? That area where Makkah and Medina are. So in this case, it's specifically referring to a place called Dhatul Riqa, and this took place in the 6th year after Hijrah, which is cleared up from other narrations from this hadith. فَلَمَّا قَفَلَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ قَفَلَ مَعَهُ. So now they're returning back from this battle, and the Muslims are successful. They're returning back and they stopped to rest. فَأَدْرَكَتْهُمُ الْقَائِلَةُ فِي وَادٍ كَثِيرِ الْعِوَى. So when they stopped to rest, they got to a valley. In this valley it had many thorny trees. فَنَزَلَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam disembarked from his riding animal. وَتَفَرَّقَ النَّاسُ يَسْتَظِلُّونَ بِالشَّجَرِ. And all of the Sahaba radiallahu anhu, they all dispersed. Everybody's dispersed. And they all went under different trees. This is the hottest part of the day, right? And so they want to take it out. So وَنَزَلَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ تَحْتَ السَّمُرَةِ. So now Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he went under, samura is a type of tree. فَعَلَّقَ بِهَا سَيْفَهُ. So on one of the branches of the tree, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he hung up his sword. وَنِمْنَا نُومَةً. He went to sleep. It's hot. It's the hottest part of the day. They're returning from a battle, tired. Everybody's tired. So he wanted to close his eyes. فَإِذَا رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ يَدْعُونَ. So everybody went to sleep. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam went to sleep. The Sahaba went to sleep. All of a sudden they heard Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam calling them. وَإِذَا عِنْدَهُ أَعْرَابِيٌّ. And when they went and they saw Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he had a Bedouin by him. فَقَالَ. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, إِنَّ هَذَا اخْتَرَطَ عَلَيَّ سَيْفِي وَأَنَا نَائِمٌ. This Bedouin, he grabbed my sword. He took my sword while I was asleep. فَاسْتَيْقَظْتُ وَهُوَ فِي يَدِهِ صَلْتًا. I woke up and the sword was unsheathed in his hand. قَالَ مَنْ يَمْنَعُكَ مِنِّي. The man wanted to taunt Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So who will stop He said, مَنْ يَمْنَعُكَ مِنِّي, who will stop me from attacking you? Basically, right? مَنْ يَمْنَعُكَ, who will prevent you from me? But it means, who's going to stop me from attacking you? قُلْتُ Allah, Allah, Allah. Rasulullah said Allah 3 times. Salasa. وَلَمْ يُعَاقِبْهُ وَجَلَسَ مُتَّفَقٌ عَلَيْهِ. And Rasulullah he didn't go after him and he sat down. So what does this mean? The next hadith clears it up and then I'll explain the whole story. We'll just read it. وَفِي رِوَايَةٍ, and in another narration, قَالَ جَابِرٌ كُنَّا مَعَ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ بِذَاتِ الرِّقَاءِ. We were with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in ذات الرقاء. Now the name of the battle is cleared up here. فَإِذَا أَتَيْنَا عَلَى شَجَرَةٍ ظَلِيلَةٍ, when we reached a shady tree, تَرَكْنَاهَا لِرَسُولِ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم. Out of respect and adab for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the Sahaba radiallahu anh, they said, let's leave this. This looks like it's the most shady tree. Let Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam be under there so that he could relax. فَجَاءَ رَجُلٌ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. So a man came from the mushrikeen. وَسَيْفُ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ مُعَلَّقٌ بِالشَّجَرَةِ. While Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's sword was hanging from the tree. فَاخْتَرَطَهُ فَقَالَ تَخَافُنِي. And then he grabbed the sword and he said, do you fear me? قَالَ لَا. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, no. قَالَ فَمَنْ يَمْنَعُكَ مِنِّي. He said, who will stop me from you? قال Allah. Rasulullah said Allah. وفي رواية أبي بكر الإسماعيلي في صحيحه قال من يمنعك مني. In another narration, he said, who will stop you from me? قال Allah. Then this narration adds some information. فسقط السيف من يده. The sword fell out of his hand. فأخذ رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم السيف فقال. Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم picked up the sword and said, من يمنعك مني. Who's going to now stop me from you? Who's going to protect you from me? فَقَالَ كُنْ خَيْرُ آخِذٍ. He said to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, be the best of those who hold swords. Meaning, forgive me, let me go. فَقَالَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, تَشْهَدُ أَن لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. Do you proclaim that there's no God but Allah? وَأَنِّي رَسُولُ اللَّهِ, and that I'm the messenger of Allah? قَالَ, what do you think he said? He said, La. He said, no. وَلَكِنِّي أُعَاهِدُكَ أَلَّا أُقَاتِلَكَ وَلَا أَكُونَ مَعَ قَوْمٍ يُقَاتِلُونَكَ. He said, but I promise you that I won't fight against you, nor will I be part of a group that fights against you. فَخَلَّى سَبِيلَهُ. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam let him go. فَأَتَى أَصْحَابَهُ. That man went back to his companions. فَقَالْ جِئْتُكُم مِّنْ عِنْدِ خَيْرِ النَّاسِ. He said, I've come to you from the best of people. Now, what all happened? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahaba radiallahu anhu, they went out for this battle. The battle was called Dhatul Riqa. It wasn't very notable. The Muslims won, right? On the return, they stopped to rest. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was resting under a tree. Unbeknownst to them, a Bedouin from that tribe was following behind Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahaba, thinking, if I get an opportunity, I'll kill Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This man's name was, some narrations say Ghawrith, others say Ghuris. Ghawrith or Ghuris bin Haris. So he saw his opportunity, so he said, let me attack Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he grabbed the sword, and while he was grabbing it, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam heard, what is this? Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam woke up. But he has the sword, he has all the power. So he wanted to taunt Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, مَن يَمْنَعُكَ مِنِّي. Who's going to protect you from me? Who's going to help you? He's taunting him now. Why? Because he is looking at asbab. He's looking at means. I have everything. He's here. He's alone. No protection. I have the sword. Who's going to stop you? What did Rasulullah say? Did he say, let me go? No. Immediately Rasulullah said, Allah, with such force that it caused this man to shake. And Rasulullah said it 3 times. So some of the muhaddithin say the reason Rasulullah said it 3 times was he took maza and he took enjoyment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name. And that the tawheed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was so dominant upon Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And his mushahada, his witnessing of Allah, as we learned in the hadith of ihsan, that you live your life as if you're seeing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was so high that nothing could perturb his heart. Nothing would stop him. And then nothing would perplex him. So now this man, he dropped the sword. And then Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam picked up the sword. And he said to him, who's going to protect You from me. What did he say? He didn't say Allah. He said, you be the best of the people that holds a sword. Let me go. Rasulullah says, do you believe me? He said, no, I don't believe in you. Rasulullah let him go. Why did Rasulullah let him go? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَيَدْرَؤُونَ بِالْحَسَنَةِ السَّيِّئَةِ. A sign of the people of intelligence are that they respond to bad with good. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he personified this. If anything happened to his dhat, if anybody hurt him personally, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam treated them well. And what is the effect of يَدْرَؤُونَ بِالسَّيِّئَةِ? We'll see in this story on a limited scale. But the largest scale of this is Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was persecuted by the people of Makkah for 20 years, right? 13 years in Makkah and 7 years after he was in a state of war against the mushrikun. Now Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam conquers Makkah. In the previous 21 years, how many people became Muslim? At Fatih Makkah there were 10,000, right? So not that many. 10,000. Now Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was treated badly by these people. He goes, he conquers Makkah. The leaders of the Quraysh are terrified. They're standing in front of the Kaaba thinking, what happened in the world? When you conquer a town, what do? You rape, pillage, murder, kill all the people. That's what people have done, always. And if everybody was executed, nobody would have said Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was unjustified based on what he had gone through in all of the past years. What happened? He went to them and he said, what do you think that you're going to do with me? What do you think I'm going to do with you? They responded, نَظُنُّكَ خَيْرًا نَظُنُّكَ خَيْرًا أَخٌ كَرِيمٌ إِبْنُ أَخٍ كَرِيمٍ. So we hope good from you. We think that you'll do good because you're a noble brother, the son of a noble brother. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, I say to you what Yusuf alayhi salam said to his brothers, يَغْفِرُ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ وَهُوَ أَرْحَمُ الرَّاحِمِينَ لَا تَثْرِيبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الْيَوْمَ يَغْفِرُ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ وَهُوَ أَرْحَمُ الرَّاحِمِينَ. No blame today. I'm not going to remind you of what happened in the past. Let it go. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most merciful. That was in the 8th year after Hijrah. Now fast forward 2 years. Hajjatul Wada. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is addressing the Sahaba. How many were there at that time? 125,000-ish. 124, 100, let's say between 120 to 125,000 Sahaba. Look, the consequence of being good. يَدْرَؤُونَ بِالْحَسَنَةِ السَّيِّئَةِ. Something terrible happened. But Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam didn't respond with revenge. He responded with good. In those 2 years, over 110,000 people became Muslim. Whereas in the previous 21 years, only 10,000 had become Muslim. Right? So that's the power of responding with good. So in this case, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, rather than taking revenge on him, even the man told him, I don't believe in you. Rasulullah said, you're not going to fight with me? You can go. The result of this was Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made an impression on him. He went to his people and he said, I'm coming to you from the best of people. From the best of people. His entire tribe, they accepted Islam. He accepted Islam. He became a Sahabi. Radiyallahu. He went to kill Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam responded to him with kindness. He followed up this evil deed with good. The barakah of this was that this man and his tribe became Muslim. Right? So we see Makkah on a large scale, Arabia on a large scale, and this on a small scale. Meaning that throughout Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam's life, his attitude, it never changed. His approach didn't change. This was an overarching principle that he applied it. Another thing that we learn from this hadith is very beautiful, is that the people of Allah, their trust in Allah is such that no matter what the situation is, they don't turn their attention to the situation because they don't look at the asbab, they don't look at the means, they look at musabbibul asbab. They look at the one who gives the causes their effects. They look at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who's fa'il haqiqi, the real doer. So in situations like this, look, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his life is flashing before his eyes. What does he say? Allah. Yusuf alayhi salam is being approached by Zulaykha. He doesn't say, get away from me. What does he say? He says, Ma'az Allah. I seek the protection of Allah. That's what he says. He doesn't say anything about don't do this, I can get in trouble. Ma'az Allah. Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. And people are accusing his mother of this and that. So now she points at the baby. If the baby said anything, the people would have said, okay, fine, he must be. The logical thing would be for the baby to say, my mother is innocent. Who is this one? She's innocent. But what did he say? Inni Abdullah. I'm the servant of Allah. The people of Allah, the pious servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what do? In all situations, they turn their attention to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not to the problem at hand. First turn to Allah, then address the problem. Then you'll have barakah. Most of us, what happens is, we panic, we get scared, we think about the problem, we get depressed, we call 100 people, we look up things online frantically, right? But at the end, we at least come back to Allah. Even then, that's fine. If a person, when a problem afflicts them, if the first thing they do is go to Allah, this shows that this is a person of Allah. This person is connected to Allah. This was called Raf'ud Darajat. This test just caused the person's rank to go up even more with Allah. If the person goes to everybody else besides Allah, but at the end comes back to Allah, this shows that this was a means of Allah forgiving the person's sin and calling them back, right? ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر بما كسبت ليذيقهم بعض الذي عملوا لعلهم يرجعون. To let them taste some of the evil that they did so that they can return, right? وَلَنُذِيقَنَّهُمْ مِنَ الْعَذَابِ الْأَدْنَى دُونَ الْعَذَابِ الْأَكْبَرِ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْجِعُونَ. We punish them a little bit in this world, not the punishment of the hereafter, in this world so that they return. If you return, we return. But some people, when they're tested, they become despondent and they run away. They run away from Deen. They run away from Allah. They say, if there's a God, why would He do this to me? There's no such thing as a merciful God, otherwise this would have happened to me. This shows that this punishment on this person was in azab. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from all of these. Now, it's up to you all. Should we go over the 2-3 du'as, or you leave it for next week? Up to you guys. I have no problem. Huh?
Go ahead.
Don't be intimidated. You could say no. It won't hurt my feelings. Take it. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hadith number 7. This went over 6 last week, right? Hadith number 7. Yes, it's here. عن أبي عمارة البراء بن عازب رضي الله عنهما. Bara bin Azib, not Barra, but Bara bin Azib رضي الله عنه. He was from the Aus. His father was also a Sahabi. He was young. How young was he? That in the battle of Badr, he wanted to go with the Muslims to fight. He was too young. Rasulullah turned him away. So he's around 14 years old. The next year he was 15, he fought in Uhud. And he was present at Bay'atul Ridwan, the pledge of Ridwan. He was there with Rasulullah. He narrates 305 hadiths, and he died in Kufa after the time of Ali radiallahu anh, around the time of Yazid, maybe even after that, he passed away. So anyway, he narrates, he says, قال Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Ya fulan, O person. Who was he referring to? Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was referring to Usayd bin Hudayr radiallahu anh. Remember, he came earlier in the book, Usayd bin Hudayr, and he had the good friend of the Sahabi, Abbad bin Bishr radiallahu anh. They used to always be together. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he told Usayd bin Hudayr, إِذَا أَوَيْتَ إِلَى فِرَاشِكَ فَقُلْ. When you go to your bed, say, Allahumma aslamtu nafsi ilayk. Oh Allah, I surrender myself to you. وَوَجَّهْتُ وَجْهِي إِلَيْكَ. And I turn my face towards you, meaning I turn my attention towards you. Everything, I turn to you happily, Ya Allah. وَفَوَّضْتُ أَمْرِي إِلَيْكَ. And I turn over all of my matters, my concerns, my responsibility. I turn this all over to you. وَأَلْجَأْتُ ظَهْرِي إِلَيْكَ. And I lean my back, I give my back to you in support. Meaning my back is given support by you, Ya Allah. رَغْبَةً وَرَهْبَةً إِلَيْكَ. Out of hope and out of fear of you, Allah, right, towards you. Now the first part, وَفَوَّضْتُ أَمْرِي إِلَيْكَ. I give all of my matters over to you, رَغْبَةً إِلَيْكَ. Hoping that you will take care of me in the best of manners. وَأَلْجَأْتُ ظَهْرِي إِلَيْكَ. And I put my back to you in support, رَهْبَةً إِلَيْكَ. Out of fear that your azab may come on me or something else may come on me, right? رَغْبَةً وَرَهْبَةً إِلَيْكَ لَا مَلْجَأَ. I have no support, وَلَا مَنْجَأَ. And I have no means of protection. Look, the word is actually manja, not manja'a. But it's allowed in Arabic. If you read malja'a and manja together, you can read manja as manja'a. It's allowed, but the asal word is manja. Okay? La malja'a wa la manja minka illa ilayk. There's no support and no place of protection from you except through you, Ya Allah. Amantu bi kitabika alladhi anzalt. I believe in the book that you sent down. Wa nabiyyika alladhi arsalt. And in the prophet that you sent. فَإِنَّكَ Now, that's the dua. Rasulullah said, فَإِنَّكَ إِن مِتَّ مِن لَيْلَتِكَ مِتَّ عَلَى الْفِطْرَةِ. And if you die in that night, you will die upon the fitrah. What fitrah? فِطْرَةَ اللَّهِ الَّتِي فَطَرَ النَّاسَ عَلَيْهَا. Upon Islam, upon the fitrah that Allah has created us on. وَإِنْ أَصْبَحْتَ أَصْبَحْتَ خَيْرًا. And if you wake up, then you wake up better. You wake up good, meaning that you'll have much reward for having said that, right? And because this is the common thing is that if you die saying something good, something speaking about Tawheed, Allah will give you Jannah. The famous hadith, man kana akhiru kalamihi la ilaha illallah, whoever's last words are la ilaha illallah, dakhala al-jannah, they'll enter Jannah. Over here, if this is your last word, you die upon the fitrah. So Imam Qurtubi rahmatullahi alayhi says that if a person dies saying this is a sign that they're from the muqarrabin, those who have been brought close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if a person dies just saying la ilaha illallah, it's a sign that the person is of the people of yaqeen. وفي رواية في الصحيحين عن البراء, another narration of this from Bara radiallahu anhu says, قال لي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم told me, not Usayd, he told me. So he could have said it again, he could have said it to multiple people. إذا أتيت مضجعك, when you go to your bed, فتوضأ وضوءك للصلاة, make the wudu that you make for salah. ثم اضطجع على شقك الأيمن, then lie down on your right side. Look, if a person is not able to sleep on their right side, it's not comfortable. When you lay down, just lay down for a few minutes on your right side, then roll over however you need to roll over. وَقُلْ, and then say, and that same dua is mentioned. وَذَكَرَ نَحْوَهُ ثُمَّ قَالْ وَاجْعَلْهُنَّ آخِرَ مَا تَقُولُ, and he said, make this the last words that you say. Make this the last words that you say. Okay? So we should try to do this. There's more du'as, I think it'll get long, so we'll stop here. I'll read the dua over one time. We'll all say it together, inshallah. Then we can go in the recording, or you guys all know this text, inshallah. I'll send you the dua, the text of it. And I'm sure that Brother Izzuddin, he knows how to make the shorts and everything.
You want to do the shorts?
Make the short with this dua, inshallah.
Yeah.
Okay? So let's all say together, inshallah. The hadith, the dua, one time. Allahumma أسلمت نفسي إليك
أسلمت نفسي إليك
ووجهت وجهي إليك وفوضت أمري إليك وألجأت ظهري إليك رغبة ورهبة إليك لا ملجأ ولا منجأ منك إلا إليك آمنت بكتابك الذي أنزلت ونبيك الذي أرسلت. This is the dua. And again, this whole dua is speaking about trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So tawakkul is something that when a person has tawakkul and dies on tawakkul, this is a sign that a person is on the fitrah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us upon. Some of the, I'll just say it, if you like it, you like it, if you don't, you don't. Some of the some of the Sufis, what they used to say is that the end of the journey is the beginning of the journey. The intiha is the ibtida. Junaid Baghdadi rahmatullahi alayhi used to say this. And what's meant by this is that when a person reaches the end of this journey of suluk, it's as if they become a baby again in terms of their reliance and tawakkul on Allah. A baby doesn't need anything, meaning it's within them to depend on Allah because they can't depend from anyone. They just know it from the moment they come out of the womb. They're completely and utterly dependent on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them whatever they need, and Allah gives them whatever knowledge they need. How to cry, how to do this, how to do that. So when a person gets tawakkul and they die on the fitrah, they die in the way that they were born, as when they came out in a baby, complete reliance on Allah, such that they didn't even realize that they were relying upon Allah. It was just it was a default nature that they would do unconsciously. That's how a person will become. May Allah make us like that.
Thank you.
So this dua, I'll call on somebody next week, inshallah. We have 7 days. So we can, inshallah, read it every day before you go to sleep. Look at it, keep it on your phone, write it on the paper. Read it before going to sleep. Inshallah, in 7 days,